Alright, new game. Who dis? Wow, looks pretty nice with shadows. Alright, so this is the game. Here's the inventory. Here's your stats. You can wear some gear. Filter your inventory. Have a bunch of buttons over here to help me cheat. On the bottom of the screen, you can see all your resources, your ability, your health, help menu, pet controls. If we run over items, you can pick them up. There's a max capacity. Not everything goes to the text box yet, but some things do. You can loot, check your bag, change your filter. You can see that you have 4 of them here, 1 of them here. You could cast them, they're potions, cooldowns. Not very good ones for potions right now, but they work. Check your filters here. Each of these is a building, temporary graphics. If you walk up to it and activate it, you can see what's available to purchase. Right now I have no money, so if you try to buy it won't work. I also have no resources, so if you try to upgrade it won't work. So if you come over here, that'll give me $1,000, and if I pick these up, just give me a bunch of resources. So also playing with one hand because I had surgery yesterday. So if you go to this thing here, you can now see all your resources in the bottom, which are in the vault. That's just cheating. You actually are supposed to have to put them there. So let me show that real quick. So technically, if you find a resource in the world, you have to pick it up. And once that's done, it'll show up here as plus 30. And if you pick up another one, you'll see there's a difference between those that are in your vault and those that are in your bag. If you were, for instance, to die, such as clicking suicide, your corpse is left wherever it was. You get this little notification that you dropped some resources, and you can go and reclaim them. So I'm just going to sprint over here and pick it up, and you'll see that the corpse will disappear and they'll go back to my bag here. And again, they're not safe until they are deposited in the bank, which for now is this. And if I click deposit, you will see they go from the bag to the bank, and now they're available to be spent, and you could spend them on upgrading any of these buildings. So for instance, this is the mage trainer, and I have $1,000, so I currently have rank 0 of my building here. So, you know, there's a couple things available for free, which I could buy. There is a weapon available for $5. I could buy a weapon attack. I could buy that. I could turn on this additional spell details here to kind of compare 2 different abilities. All the tooltips are, you know, rough, temporary at the moment. We've got a sort here, but we only have the 1 rank, so if we wanted to upgrade, you could see it's going to be 2 wood, 5 crystal, and we've got a bunch in our vault here, so if we upgrade, we'll get this mage signet here, so might as well hit upgrade, and you can see that the pile of stones turned into a little tent, which is all just temporary. And then we also got this mage signet here, which increases our mana permanently by 50. So by upgrading the town, you can get different perks, and the stats update there. So if you go back, you know, you can continue to upgrade. So now that we are rank 1, we can buy rank 1 spells, which are, you know, a whole new selection of spells. You can buy those, and you can keep upgrading. So, you know, upgrade. So now we have rank 2, and if we want to go to rank 3, it now actually requires that we kill a boss. So if we try to upgrade, it won't work. But if I just go over here and loot this quest item, we now looted the flag for killing the boss, so we can go ahead and upgrade it again, and you can see it is quite big, and we now have even more spells available to buy, so we could just buy all these, and they will have costs later and balance, but we just buy them. And then if you go back over to the bank, there's currently no reason to upgrade the, I guess you could upgrade the bank to get these upgraded gems. So right now we have none. So we have the ability to deposit, but we don't have any perks. So we got to upgrade our rank 0 to rank 1. And we do that, we get this banker's gem, which increases our precision, which is our chance to hit. So if we go back, we also unlocked some new abilities or new items that we could buy. Really, we could put anything here. These are just temporary items. Depending on the rank of the building, more things are available to purchase. So if I were to upgrade it to rank 2, not only would I get the banker's gem, rank 2, but I would also add more things that I'm available to buy from the bank for platinum, for money. So you can get those, and now you can see by upgrading your town, you've basically increased permanently the power of your player. So you've got more precision now, you've got more mana now, and the main way of leveling to keep up with the enemies is actually this building here, which is your mastery. So for instance, this guy here, right now there's no perks available, but if you were to purchase a bigger building, you get the mastery charm, which again can unlock new items to buy from here, specific to this place, which, are not balanced or appropriate yet, but just functionally there. But you could continue to upgrade this, and this is the primary form of leveling effectively, by increasing your mastery in each of these trees, soul, decay, elemental, and physical. So you can see those stats reflected there. And if you go back, again, this one is gated behind a quest, so I can't upgrade unless I pick up the flag here. And now I can upgrade this. And you can see new items are available for purchase, and I get a new mastery charm, and I could keep upgrading until I get to the highest tier. And you can see now that this has much higher stats. We also have accidentally purchased a couple things. So we've got pet gear, quest items, crafting, consumables, miscellaneous, all a bunch of different items. So now that we have upgraded the bank, the mastery, and the mage trainer, we can take a look at our spell book, which we have 8 spells available here right now, and we could put them wherever we want. Fill them out in whatever way you want. Each one has a different type: elemental, decay, soul, and each one of those trees can synergize with your weapon. So if I fill out, and you can read all the different details for the spells here. So the surrounding color around the icon is kind of the element. So if I were to cast it on myself, you can see I have a debuff icon here, and I get illuminated when I get hit, and you can see the damage update all there. There's even combat text, which is temporary or work in progress, but works a little bit. So that's the spell book. There's a bunch of spells. I'm just going to cheat and fill my inventory by clicking this, and now I've just populated my inventory with a ton of different items to play around with. So I can equip items. There's no drag and drop or anything like that, but click it, unequip, click it, equip. Pretty simple. The stats are depicted. All the bonuses are there. You could equip them. Your stats upgrade here on the left. Very important to pick your weapon for the synergy type. So for instance, this one has elemental synergy, level 3. This one has Soul Synergy level 1, Soul Synergy level 2, and that determines the level of synergy attack you can do. So if I were to equip the weapon, it has a base damage of 50 and elemental. So I'm going to go ahead and cheat and learn all the spells. So if I go back to my spell book, I can now learn, let's see, weapon attack and Comet and Cone of Frost. Okay. And if we go over to the bad guy here and target him, I could, oh, gonna cancel that so I don't get two guys. Shoot a fireball at him. He's casting on me. You can see the little icon here is the synergy level that he's at, and that depends on the particular type of spell you cast. So if I were to cast this one, which is a soul type ability, it doesn't increase, but if I were to cast an elemental ability, it does increase. And then I could redeem those by using the synergy button here. Just going to cancel it so you could see it a couple times, but basically it's a quick time event. If you hit it at the appropriate time, like now, it does weapon damage increasing per tier and offers a unique perk depending on the level of synergy. So for level 1, it just gives you a mana bonus. For level 2, it gives you this mastery buff, which is a stacking buff that increases your resistance or your mastery in a particular tier. And it stacks up to 3 times, so incentivizes increased usage of weapons that synergize with your spells. So right now I'm in combat, so I can't change my weapon, but this guy here is just running around terrified. In a minute, he should regenerate enough health to come back to the fight. If I poison him, you'll see that I don't have the right synergy, so it won't work, but I can still run up and hit him with my weapon, which didn't really necessary because he was going to die anyway. But so I've got a weapon attack, which just looks like that right now, and it basically just attacks whoever's in front of me. You don't have to target anybody. It's an AoE type frontal attack. And that just does weapon damage. So right now I have 50 weapon damage, but with all of my buffs compared to the enemy, you can see that it actually does more than 50 damage. And part of that is visible up here on the top of the screen. When you click on a particular enemy, these bars will update. So if I click on myself, you could see they're kind of all in the middle, because obviously me compared to myself is equal, but if I were to click on the enemy, you could see that I'm all the way to the right on elemental, soul, decay. That means I'm very strong in those particular trees. So those spells will do more damage relative to the enemy. Whereas physical, not quite as strong. I'm going to cheat and kill him, as he was about to kill me. They drop items, which are basically money and other loot. There's no experience in the game, it's all just money. So the whole currency of the game is cash. If I were to equip a different type of weapon, a soul weapon in this case, you could see that it's only rank 1. So I won't be able to use like a rank 3 synergy attack. So if I were to go up to him and well, he resisted it, so it did nothing, but it's also a very weak weapon and only did 6 damage, so you'll see it says right there, weapon damage 5. If I use my attack, it does very little damage. But if I synergy, you can see that I'm going to cheat and get a bunch of health right now. But you can see that there is a little synergy icon there, and I could keep adding it, but they won't go above rank 1 because my weapon is only capable of rank 1. So I can go ahead and redeem that, and it did damage based on the weapon plus a multiplier, And then it also gave me a mana regen for rank 1. If I go ahead and kill him and add a synergy rank 2 weapon, so now we've got soul rank 2. This guy just aggroed me. You know, I could cast soul on him again, and now it's rank 1. And I could synergy right now if I wanted to, but that would just be a mana regen, so I'm going to save it. I'll get to synergy rank 2. And now when I synergy, not only does it do more damage, it also gives me this mastery buff, which will enhance my soul. So soul's at 51. You know, if I were to do this a whole nother round, before the debuff faded, I could stack it up to 3 times, increasing my damage against this enemy, or against all enemies rather, in the soul tree. So you can see now I've got 56 soul, and all these level, I'm actually kind of too strong because of all this extra gear I have on, which is making me as if I'm almost like a level 5 or so. So these level 1s are very low level compared to me. In addition to all of that, what else do we have going on here? We've got a pet. So if I summon him, little spider bro pops out. And he's got his own stats and gear. So right now he's not wearing anything, but if I go to my pet tab here, you know, I could give him like a ludicrous piece of armor, make him incredibly strong, 50,000 health, whatever. I could also equip him with a weapon. So ultimately the pet's weapon and attack is going to be based on, or I'm sorry, their damage is going to be based on the weapon. That way pets can be upgradable. So you have upgrades available that way as well, and you can see all of their stats listed here. Technically, you can send him into attack, and right now he's casting a spell, which is a life tap, and he went ahead and did that. And he has aggro, I have aggro right now. You know, pets will be set to generate higher levels of aggro based on whatever abilities they're using. They have, you know, AI to run around and do things. They currently don't aggro based on proximity. So, you know, they just follow you around relatively safely. Can go ahead and loot that for mana and money, which is experience, basically. The chat window is still work in progress, but you can see there's, you know, some system messages here, some combat messages. And if you go into the spell book, you can see there is a ton of different options right now for different styles of spells, which will, you know, continue to be expanded on. They're just on the back burner right now as we build other capability besides the combat. But, you know, if I click on this guy and blind him, oh, I gotta be facing him. But if I blind him, he now can't see anything, and you can get much closer to enemies that are blinded without aggroing them. And if you were to get close enough to aggro him, well, now I'm in trouble, and I'm playing with one hand. So he still can't see me. He doesn't know where I am right now, but this guy does. So I could cast a shield, which allows me to take less damage. I can wait for them to get here and do a knockback ability. I can try and now blind him while he's standing away so that he won't know where I am. I could dodge his attack. Oh, nope, I didn't move fast enough. So I'll blind this guy as well. He's going to interrupt my spell. If I dodge, I could do like a slow motion dodge. I could also jump and run away. I could sprint. I could dodge sideways. Dodge forwards. Run up here. I'm still in combat. There's no way to get away from those enemies. If I were to just wait here for some of my endurance or stamina to regenerate, just want to show that I can jump really far and then take fall damage, which is not particularly great, but you know. Here comes the enemies. They're trying to kill me. I'm just going to cheat and kill him because I'm playing with one hand. Here comes the other guy. I'm going to go ahead and do a knockback on him and then use this mana drain spell, which is a channeled ability. So that one drains their mana and snares them. Rack is a stun with a mana drain. Get some distance. Run away. Alright, so I now have 2 synergy on this guy, so I can go ahead and click it. And if I get the timing right, it'll do damage and increase my synergy on that tree. And then I'm going to hit him with my weapon, which costs no mana and does AoE damage. So you can see that that one's nice to use. It also increases your aggro quite a bit. So, you know, if you're fighting multiple enemies, that could be dangerous. You could interrupt their casting like I just did there. You can see the user interface grays out unless you're clicking on them. It also, I'm just going to go ahead and cheat and root him, which locks him in place. Oh, well, at least I thought it did. I'm just going to go ahead and root him again. Oh, it turns out this guy's level 7. I didn't even notice. If I root him, he's stuck over there. And as I get further away, their user interface gets smaller and smaller. Let me show that again. I'm going to root him. I could dodge his attacks. So as I get closer to him, the user interface gets bigger. And as I get further, it gets smaller. And then if I deselect them, it grays out, which makes it pretty nice when you're, you know, fighting a lot of enemies. Send in my pet to hit him. He's hitting me pretty hard, but I have like infinite health at the moment. So if I turn that off, he would basically destroy me because he's level 7, I believe, ish. So he's messing me up right now. And I died. So when you die, you teleport to the nearest gravestone. In this case, it's over here. And if you were carrying resources, they would drop, right? So these are the resources right here. So this could be a problem. I'm stuck in combat, which is annoying. Just a bug at the moment. So I cannot do anything useful when stuck in combat. So let me see if I can just go ahead and suicide myself, if that'll take me out of combat. Did it work? Nope, I'm stuck in combat. So I'm gonna go ahead and... Oh, wait, here he comes. That's why I'm stuck in combat. This guy right here, I think. Okay, so now I should be out of combat, which I am, which means I can open up my spell book. Oh no, not this guy. He didn't aggro me just because there's a couple second buffer window there when he spawns, I believe. So now that I'm out of combat, I can go ahead and collect stuff again. And the gameplay loop will require you to return these back and deposit them so that you could spend them to get these upgrades at the training yard and at the mage guild, which is where you buy your spells over here at the mage trainer. So I think we went ahead and cheated and got all those, so we're good there. The other thing is I'm just going to cheat really quick, I think. Let me see if I could cheat really quick. Just kind of fly over here, show some of the other parts of the map for different features. So we've got a exploding barrel, operates like you would suspect. If I shoot a fireball at it. Right now you can see that he's stuck up there. So it basically exploit will take him back out of combat since he can't get to me. If I blow this one up, he ran out of it, the devil, so he did not take any damage. if I come over here, I could showcase some doors, and you can see their aggro range. You could kind of sneak behind them. They have to be looking at you. If I were to blind him, he would have an even smaller aggro range. So I mean, maybe I could even, yeah, there it is. Sneak right past him, right in front of his face. So I just went ahead and got the key for this door, so you could unlock it, and that door will stay unlocked and auto open. This guy right here, if I were to knock him over the ledge, I don't know what's going to happen. He's going to fall in the water. Oh, there we go. He just teleported back. He reset. Currently no ability to swim in the game, so that's out of bounds. Can open up this door and now get to our first dungeon. So this is the UI. We can go into either of these instances, which are slightly different versions of the same map. So we can go in, and it loaded, and you could immediately leave if you want, or go explore. If you go to the door, you could always exit it with your resources that you've collected. If you wanted to escape the dungeon, there'll be a button to just abandon it, and that will exit the dungeon, but leave behind any resources that you may have on your bag. So any of the resources that you have not yet banked will be left behind. And then this is just an example of a potential dungeon. You would come in and, you know, fight these bad guys. And the idea being that you collect resources, which are scattered throughout, whether through puzzles or acrobatics or through killing bad guys. You can then go ahead and hit some shield abilities. Let's see, what can we do to this guy? Could blind him, and then dodge, get out of his vision range. Now he can no longer see us until that debuff fades. Since I'm in combat, I can't collect this, so I'm just gonna go ahead and kill him. And now he dropped a key, so you can see that he's got a key. If I go to my inventory, you know, it would show up here as well. It's just the boss key, and that could be used to unlock different buildings, different quest lines, different doors, whatever you need. So the idea is you go in the dungeon, you collect all these resources. And if, for instance, you had not yet defeated the boss, you could kind of escape through the front door, the way we came in. But if you kill the boss, you know, theoretically you could open up a special door, which will take you to a portal to town. So you could theoretically just teleport here to town, and that will bring these resources, which you can see in your bag, with you. If you were to die in the dungeon, there are spawn points in the dungeon, so no problem. Just go ahead and run back to your corpse. And before leaving the dungeon, you're going to want to collect your resources again. This will pick up everything that you dropped. If you die twice in a row, the resources will respawn back wherever they were. So the idea is to not die twice, because if you do, like this, now I just died twice, all the resources have reset. So the idea is to be able to beat the dungeon while retaining your resources and escaping. And you can see this boss stayed dead, whereas some of the other enemies respawn. And that is configurable. So now that I'm just going to go ahead and grab one resource to show that when we leave town, we can come with it. So this door auto opens now that it's unlocked. And if I go to the UI here, you can see I've got one extra wood on me. Hit success. And it will teleport us out of the dungeon back to town. And we are now able to deposit that resource in our bank. So ka-ching, we now have that resource available to spend in whatever way we like. And I guess glanced over all the different items and loot that's on the floor and available to pick up. And then you know, all the different enemy configurations that will be introduced, different layouts of enemies, different enemy types. Right now there's just, you know, the single enemy, but there will be a bunch more. So let's see. So if we look through the spell book, lots of different unique spells inspired by EverQuest mostly, but a lot of different fun stuff that will change your gameplay style. No class bases, just pick the spells you want and create your own gameplay based on that. You can only have, I guess, 10 spells right now, but one of them is a pet and one of them is your synergy. That was a trap, so now that he was in that trap, he was basically blinded, and I can place those on the floor and have traps that do lots of different things. You know, lots of different spell types. Let me kill him. Cheat. Any other? Oh, lots of AoEs, aggro wipes, teleports. So, you know, we can effectively teleport. Let me turn off the debug so that it looks a little prettier. So if you teleport over here, you can jump and teleport. You can take fall damage. I don't think you could avoid the fall damage by teleporting. Nope. That'll kill you anyway. So you respawn back over here. The projectiles have real collision, so these guys don't have aggro, they're just dummies, but if you shoot it, you would see that it would actually hit the wall and not be able to get to him. But if you were to use a mortar, this also has projectile and line of sight attacks. So even though I didn't directly attack this guy, it was still able to hit him through the AoE function. What else do we have here? Stuns, snares, regular AoEs that fall from the sky, hit multiple targets. Some of them hit friendly targets, some of them only hit enemies. There are enemies that can attack each other, which is kind of cool. Let me cheat and fly over here real quick. Whoop, too high. One hand. Challenging. Alright, so if we go into this dungeon, I've got two different enemies of two different factions, and even though they look the same, they hate each other, and they will fight each other because they are enemies. And I can kind of summon my pet, and here you can kind of see the faded UI elements. Let me turn off the debug. So whichever one I click on illuminates, and if I back up, they shrink, which makes it really nice and easy to see what's going on at a glance. You can see I dropped the AoE and it didn't hit my pet because this particular AoE has a enemy-only target list, or you know what, might actually hit me too if I stand too close. Let's see. Yep, so it could hit me too. And you can see after the one enemy was dead, the next one still wants to kill me. I'll just cheat and kill him. And you can see that this is the same map as before, but an alternate configuration. So you can no longer get across the bridge in this version of this dungeon. But on this dungeon, there will be, you know, different geometry, different requirements, and different goals. So even though it's on the same map, multiple different instances are possible. Alright, so that is all of the spells. Inventory. Got lots of different gear options that you could equip and unequip. Eventually there'll be some crafting components. There'll be some reputation components. You know, that way you are incentivized to kill particular factions. So I just cheated and helped him kill his buddy over there. So when I'm in the dungeon, I can go ahead and theoretically collect these resources. Let me just go ahead and collect a resource really quick. If I wanted to, again, I could escape and carry it out with me, but say I wanted to surrender, I could just go ahead and click abandon, and it will leave behind all of those resources and teleport you to the entrance of the dungeon. Let's see, what other features are there? So your attack, again, is based off your weapon damage, which is a stat on your weapon. You've got synergy, which is also based on your weapon and ties into the spell type, which you can see based on the color of the border on the spell. You can also see it in the spell book, the different colors surrounding the icons, and if you click on any of them, you can see kind of some of the stats here that are going to be improved, but it'll also tell you any status effects that the spell also provides. So you can see some of these are quite complex. They do damage, plus they have status effects applied to them. And you'll see those details as well. What else do we got? I think that might be it. Oh, there's the movement stuff, right? So, oh, that's going to kill me. Oopsie. So, yep, fall damage, obviously. And then also the ability to kind of juke and weave around. So you can dodge to the right, which reduces the damage you take and gives you slow motion. So that'll give you a couple seconds to help get the lay of the battlefield, figure out what you want to do next. Also reduces the damage you take from physical melee when you dodge, and then also if it's a projectile, you can dodge it for real. There's also a jump forward type ability, kind of like a dash, to get some distance between you and the enemy. There's a jump backwards ability, which also stuns the enemy. And then there's just jump and sprint. So if you hold shift, you can sprint, and that meter is over here and automatically regenerates. Some additional controls listed there. And then in the top of the screen is that enemy level indicator. So, I just killed myself again. Whoops. So let me cheat and turn on the debug so that I can kind of just go over here where there's a nice little testing area of enemies of different levels. Oh, buddy. Go over here. There we go. So this guy is level 1, and let me go ahead and unequip some of this junk. So I can't unequip these town perks. Those are permanent. So that's kind of like your permanent level increases, and then the gear supplements that as well. So, even without gear on, I've got 40-ish of these mastery, which makes me roughly equivalent to a level 4-ish enemy. So if you were to look at the level 1s up here, I'm all the way to the right. But if I click on a level 2, I'm still way too strong. Click on a level 3, you can see they start coming back. Click on a level 4, they're getting towards the middle. Level 5, etc. So the higher the enemy, the less damage that I will do. So if I were to drop an AoE on these guys, the one that is effectively level 5 is going to take much less damage than the one that's level 2. You can see there's like 140 damage versus 180 damage based on whatever levels they are. And if I keep going up, level 6, you can see I get weaker, and 7, and 8, and now I would do the least amount of damage to this level 8. So I'm only doing about half the damage that I would ordinarily do, and he obviously has got more health, he hits harder, and comparatively my spells do less damage, so I would have to gear up by wearing, for instance, I don't know, whatever one of these things gives me more stats. Oh, this one's kind of cheating. All right, this one here, 30, 30, 30, 30. So if I wear that, now I'm in the 70s for most of these. You could kind of see that, okay, this level 8, now I'm kind of equal to. Level 9 is now, I'm getting weaker than. Level 10, I'm much weaker than. And level 20, that guy, oh no, that's not level 20. Level 20 is around the corner there. And you can see that he is much stronger. So that's how the leveling works. There's also stats for things like just spell power and physical damage. So this one has mind power. So if I equip that, that increases the damage of all of the spell trees, soul, decay, and elemental, whereas body power increases the damage of the physical spell tree. Most of the melee type enemies are going to have physical damage, so that's kind of broken out into its own tree. Versus spells where, you know, an enemy might only have one particular element based on whatever type of enemy type they are. I think that is everything with the game. There is a save system as well, so, you know, if you were to hit camp, you could save exactly where you are and recover. But otherwise, let's see, let me just equip a weapon one more time and show the synergy. So if I have a weapon on and I cast an elemental spell, you can see that it goes ahead and gives me a level 1 synergy. I'm going to go ahead and get a weaker spell and also unequip this stuff so I do less damage. And go ahead and hit him with a weaker fireball. And now he's got 2. Hit him with another fireball. He should have 3. And now I can do the most powerful of my synergy attacks, which is going to be based on the weapon damage, which is 50. But since it's stacked 3 times, there's a multiplier effect going on. So this should be a pretty powerful ability. There you go, 294. As long as you get your timing right. So if you were, for instance, to shoot him with a fireball and try to synergy too quickly, nothing happened. Not very glamorous, but effectively it failed. Starts the cooldown over. If you get the timing right, you could cast it faster and get whatever the perk may be. So if you don't cast it at all, you'll just get the perk, in which case this was a mastery spell. But if you cast it during the QuickTime event, you also get the damage, which is desirable. So I'll show that one more time. So you click here, and if you get the timing right, you can do weapon damage, and in this case you get the perk as well, which is mana regen. And then you die. I think that's the majority of the game. Alrighty, goodbye.